Hi dear friends, click on the like button and the subscribe button, hit the bell icon and don't forget to follow me on Instagram.
Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this car, the Maruti Suzuki WagonR, and this is actually a 2013 model and the facelift came in the same year. So it is a kind of old car, has a lot of dents and all, and I've taken it on rent actually. Let me quickly show you the engine. So here we go, you can see the engine's color has only completely changed. So because this car is being rented out, many people have driven it and it's in a very bad state, but still doesn't stop me from vlogging about it. So I got this for 1200 rupees for a day. There's a wheel cap missing here, and it's a tall boy design because it's a key car. The WagonR is a key car, which is according to Japanese specifications a car which has certain dimensions. How do you open this thing? Actually you can't, you have to put the key, and the rear wiper is also missing. The key is similar to the old Swift, and it's got central locking, so it's the fully loaded model. The boot isn't that big, and in fact the old WagonR had a big boot. They have reduced the size of the boot in the second generation model by around 48 liters, which is a big shock. Actually, why would you do that? And this is the spare wheel, which isn't an alloy. Even the regular wheels aren't an alloy, so that's not a big deal, and I have to actually press this to get it down, but it will not come down. So split folding rear seats, wow, nice addition actually. Oh, the metal makes a lot of noise and rattles. So let's get into the rear seat of the car. First and foremost, there are no door pockets, which is kind of disappointing, and the seat feels very dirty and messy, but I'll just show you the space. So there's good amount of space. In fact, this car has the longest wheelbase in its segment. There's good amount of knee room, leg room. Headroom is also a lot in this car, and under thigh support is shockingly decent. So no center headrest, and 3 people can't really sit inside because the car isn't very wide, but the windows are large, so it does give you an airy feel inside the cabin. So this is a car which actually is good enough for city duties for 4 people, and it gets these roof rails as well. This is a manual antenna. Let's get inside the driver's seat. You can see the door pockets are so small, you really can't put much inside this. As I turn on the car, it rose to life, but with a lot of vibrations. You can see the rear view mirror, the left one is completely vibrating. The good thing is that this one gets internal adjust, so as always it will vibrate and change position, so you can adjust it all the time in your preferred position. That is, twin glove boxes, not really big on the top. The lower one is also not really big. There's a cup holder here which doesn't go back into position. Air conditioning works decently well. This audio system has a decent output. It doesn't get Bluetooth connectivity, this particular model, but it gets USB, it gets aux, and the audio output is not the greatest, but it kind of does the job. No steering mounted audio controls. Obviously, now instrument cluster you can see is kind of basic, but it gets a digital readout for the fuel meter as well as the odometer and the trip meter, and there are twin trip meters on this car. This car has done 60,000 kilometers. This is the space for the telltale lights. The air conditioning is kind of working decently, and there's a cup holder here as well. This one actually works. This is the button for the alarm. This is for the front fog light, and this is for the headlight leveling. There's a box here to keep stuff, but this car doesn't have much space to keep stuff. There is no space for a 1 liter bottle, and there are small cubby holes here to keep stuff, but it's very dirty. I wouldn't want to touch it actually. The car itself is very dirty. I don't know what is this kind of space over here, and this gear lever comes with this rubber band. Maybe it had hair before it fell off. The dashboard design is decent. This beige treatment gives it the airy feel, and this thing is so far ahead. Actually, you have to move ahead to operate it. Adjusting the mirror is something which you have to keep doing because of the vibration. It moves position. There's an interior light over here, and there's a mirror here as well. This is if you want to save yourself from body roll when you're cornering hard, but you shouldn't really corner hard on this car. You sit very high up. The front seats are decently comfortable, but the driver's seat doesn't get height adjust, and the steering wheel gets height adjust, which is kind of an effort, but the movement is very narrow. Like, there's no range as such, so I didn't even know why anyone would use it. Overall, the car feels decently well put together. The plastic isn't the greatest. It rattles a lot, and the wiper, well, it does make a lot of noise, even the washer fluid spray, but it does clean the front windscreen. As you can see, this car has a lot of space both at the front and the rear, and it gets power windows for both the front as well as the rear. This is to lock the rear power window, but because of usage the sign has only disappeared, so I'll just take some paint and mark it over here. and to lock and unlock the doors you have to press this button itself. There's no dedicated button to lock or unlock the door. But how is it to drive? Well, there's only one way to find out, by giving it the beans. So here we go. So first things first, let me play the audio system and tell you how it sounds. The louder I go on audio, the more the car vibrates. Actually, it's vibrating a lot. The mirror completely keep vibrating. I've already told you that. But it's time to give it the beans, so let's go. So now we are all set to give it the beans. Here, revving the motor to 6,000, dumping the clutch. Oh my god, there's too much torque steer. Have you heard so much torque steer from any car? Well, that's because the clutch has gone completely on this car, and that's why it's making so much noise. So the Wagon-R is powered by a 1-liter 3C. I'm getting messages on my watch, sorry. The Wagon-R is powered by a 1-liter 3-cylinder engine. It is called the K10B, produces 68 PS of power and 90 Newton meters of torque. This motor replaces the old motor, which was the F10D 1.1 liter. This one is a 3-cylinder, that one was a 4-cylinder, but that produced lesser power and torque, and also at higher RPM. So this one is definitely better in terms of low-end performance. In fact, it's quite punchy lower down. It's very refined as well, but some vibrations definitely creep inside the cabin at lower side of the RPM. But once you get going, it smoothens out very nicely. But in the top end, it is quite bad as far as noise goes and NVH goes. In fact, NVH is far from being the best. Here on the throttle, pulls nicely in the mid-range, but this isn't a car you would want to redline. Although this is a Japanese motor, it likes to go to its near 6,500 redline without making much fuss. So a good motor in that sense, but noise levels are very high. Smoothness is good lower down, but overall as an engine I would say that it could have been better. So let me quickly talk about the history of the Wagon-R, and I hope you guys can hear me because this engine does make a racket. So in 1999, Maruti launched the Wagon-R in India, and it wasn't well received at all. Very quirky looking car. I actually had a crush on that car because of the quirkiness, and then they gave it multiple facelifts. I think in 2003 something happened, 2006 something happened, 2010 they brought in the second generation model, 2013 they gave it a facelift. That's the one I'm driving right now. This is a 2013 car. It's the facelift model, but nothing much has changed after that, other than the fact that they have launched a lot of special editions, like a Madhavan special edition. Who does that? Then they have something called Fel City, and they keep launching new editions. Then they gave it AMT, then they got the Stingray, then the Stingray was discontinued and made as the VXI Plus. This is the VX. The VXI Plus is actually the Stingray, which gets ABS and airbags as standard. So a lot of changes in the Wagon-R lineup. It sells a lot, actually more than 10,000 units a month, in spite of being a small city car, which really can't go on the highway. Now I call it small, that's in terms of footprint, but it is large on the inside, and it's being used a lot by Uber drivers and Ola drivers. And the problem is because this car is kind of abused both by taxi drivers or renters like me, and that's the reason there are a lot of rattling inside the car, a lot of vibrations. So here we are into third gear. The gearbox, although is kind of smooth shifting, the clutch of this car is gone. Although the clutch is on the lighter side, this one just doesn't engage quickly, and it's very snappy. It's all of a sudden engaged, and that's the reason you have to be very careful. Otherwise, you'll be spinning the wheels a lot. Tires have completely gone on this car, obviously, because it's been driven a lot. 60,000 kilometers on the stock tires. That's a lot of kilometers for a Wagon-R to do on stock rubber. Although not anyone is going to go around cornering this car because there's a ton of body roll. It's extremely tall, this car, and it isn't as wide. In fact, the height is the highest of this car when you compare it to anything else, and that makes it very top heavy. Still, it's a decent handler in terms that it's very predictable and it doesn't scare you when you try to corner hard. The steering is light at lower speeds, which I really appreciate, but as speeds build up, it just doesn't weigh up at all. So not the car for high speed driving, not the car to go through the corners. Ride quality is good. Lower down at low speed, it does absorb everything in its stride very well, so the suspension is on the softer side. But as the speeds increase, the suspension kind of makes the car pitch and roll a lot, which can get uncomfortable. The braking performance is decent. This car gets ABS, but this particular model which I'm driving doesn't get ABS, doesn't get airbags. Actually, earlier on it didn't get ABS and airbags as standard, but now there are ABS and airbags on the top trims. So braking performance isn't very sure-footed because it does nosedive, so this isn't a car you would like to brake hard with. Now we all must be thinking that the WagonR is a very successful car in India. Look, there's one here as well, but it's actually a global success. When I say global, it's successful in the Japanese market as well. In 1993, Suzuki came up with the WagonR, and guess what? It sold more than 5 million units globally. In India, it sold more than 2 million units, and right now the WagonR is in its 6th generation globally. In India, the 2nd generation is being sold, the 3rd generation on test already, which means that the next generation WagonR will be coming very soon. But when I need power, it doesn't give me. Come on, baby, here we go. Yeah, baby. No VTEC here, so nothing kicked in yo. K series kicked in yo actually. So 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes around 15.1 seconds. Meanwhile, the top speed is 152 kilometers per hour. And I honestly have never seen a person in their life doing more than 140 kilometers per hour in the WagonR, because it doesn't really inspire that confidence to push hard as such. And there is a nice curvy road ahead, so I'm going to give it the beans. And I know you cannot hear me because the car is so loud, bouncing on the red line, the rev limiter. But I guess there's another signal ahead. Tired of these signals in Goa, continuously one after the other, signal pe signal, really crazy. So guys, should you buy a WagonR? Well, that's a good question. Now it's available in 12 variants. That's right, 12 variants for the WagonR. And why do I say 12 variants? Well, let me just cheat from here. Here we go. See, low speed ride is good, I told you so. Ouch. Anyways, so 12 variants because it's available in the Stingray, which is the VXI Plus, and then it's also available with AMT, and then it's also available with LPG. And no, actually, it's available with CNG. Why do I get confused with LPG and CNG? What's wrong with you, Faisal? Can't you differentiate between L and C? Not really. After driving a WagonR in this hot condition, the air conditioning not working. Concentrate on the job. Don't digress. All right, here we go. So I'll actually cut that part and edit. Don't tell anybody. Done. So I was telling about the AMT version. Then there is the CNG as well, and that's the reason there are 12 variants of the WagonR on sale. Now the base price of the LXi starts at rupees 4.85 lakhs on road Mumbai and goes all the way till 6.3 lakhs for the top of the line VXI Plus, Stingray, whatever you call it, AMT automatic. 6.3 lakhs, and I'm talking about on-road Mumbai prices, so it is kind of expensive. But yes, the Stingray gets more features like projector headlights, and it kind of looks better than the regular WagonR, slightly sporty. And if you're the van kind of person, I don't know what a van kind of person is, but still. And the car I'm driving right now, that costs around 5.7 lakhs. The reason for you to buy one, if you're driving in the city, solely in the city, you never venture out on the highway, or if you have been employed by Uber or Ola, then definitely this is the car you should look at, because in Uber it's available with Uber Go. And I don't like the fact that people have been driving it so much, like because of which it kind of rattles a lot. So when I get a WagonR in Uber, I'm not really happy because the backseat ride isn't the best, and there are a lot of rattles. Like this one is also rattling a lot. So it's not the best in terms of build quality, but in terms of space, no car can beat it at this price. If you're looking for economy, then the WagonR is still one of the best bets under rupees 6 lakhs. So guys, this is my review of an old car, which by the way is still on sale. There is no difference between the car I'm driving today and the car which is sold by Maruti Suzuki in its arena showrooms. So if you like this video, you know what you have to do. Give it the thumbs up. Yes, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye. The whole vlog has got over. I'm done with everything. Goodbye, Tata. And then I remembered that many people will be wondering, what does R actually mean in WagonR? Guess what it could mean? It actually means recreation. Yes, that's right. WagonR for recreation. A wagon for recreation. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense that why would they call it WagonR? I mean, where the R means recreation. But hey, not always everything has to be by logic, right? Anyways, I'm tired of giving this car the beans. It just doesn't want to take any beans. A very bad car. Very unbeanie car, I would say. Let's give it the corner. Oh my god, the body roll is a lot. What, you got hurt or what?